The cell phone has brought many luxuries and made it easier for us to communicate to one another. However, since texting has become more popular, it has also become a huge danger to society. This danger happens when people text and drive. People spend a lot of time in their vehicles, whether it be driving to work, school, or running errands, or even as your job as a delivery boy. Some people eat in their cars, take naps, or even just change an outfit. Unfortunately, though, being in a vehicle is becoming more and more dangerous because of all the distractions that other drivers have on the road. Here's just a little bit of information about texting that I got from wikipedia.org. Most cell phones are limited to 160 characters to try and keep text messages short and sweet. Sending a full text message could be as short as 15 seconds to a minute. People send text messages while they're eating, walking, and worse, when they're driving. The average monthly amount of texts were 1 million in 2002, but by 2008 it was up to 110 million a month. Driving requires full concentration from the driver. Just reading a text message takes away some of the driver's concentration on the road. Even just looking at your phone for 5 seconds, many things could happen. The road can change in front of you, a child could run out in front of your car, or the light could change, all which would end in disaster. The driver's mind goes toward the text rather than the road. This prevents the driver from being able to think clearly and compromises on how quick his reflexes would be. Texting could only take one hand, but that means only one hand is left on the wheel. Since texting and driving is such a serious problem, some states are taking measures into making it illegal. Some states have a law that all bus drivers and drivers under 18 cannot have a cell phone at all while driving. Right now, there are 29 states that ban all use of cell phones to drivers under the age of 18. Then there are 18 states which ban school bus drivers from all cell phone usage when they have passengers on board. Then there are handheld cell phone bans in 18 states. This means that if you want to talk on your cell phone, you can only do so if you have a hands-free device. Currently, texting and driving is illegal in 30 states. 8 states have banned texting and driving for anyone under the age of 18, while only 2 states have banned texting and driving for school bus drivers. Iowa is one of the 30 states where texting and driving is illegal. There are some states, though, where you are allowed to text, but only when you are stopped, parked, or in neutral. Now I have some stories to tell you from textresponsibility.org to help show you how texting and driving affects people's lives. Alex's friend Lily was on her way home from work when Alex had texted her. As Lily went to reply to the text, she lost control of the vehicle and crashed. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Alex says she gets blamed for Lily's death because it was her text message that she was replying to. Jessica is a texting and driving survivor. She was 17 years old when she was driving home from work in the pouring rain. She was texting her boyfriend and lost control of the vehicle, spun into 2 lanes of traffic, and hit a fence at 65 miles per hour. Because of the speed she was going at, her knees hit the dashboard, tearing every ligament in it. Her hip was dislocated because of the force when she hit the door. Her sternum cracked because of the seatbelt hitting the steering wheel. Every rib of hers was bruised, and she had a mild concussion. She says that even though these injuries may not seem bad, it still causes her issues even though it's been 3 years since the accident. Her message to drivers is, take it from someone who's lived it. Don't text and drive. And lastly, Teresa Breen's son was killed because he was texting and driving. He was 23 years old, a United States Marine, a father, and a brother. Her cell phone rang at 9:22 on a Sunday night. She says that this time will forever be on her mind. Her son was only 10 miles away from their house when he hit a culvert and was ejected. His truck was still flipping, and he traveled another 38 feet to the east side of the road before he had finally stopped. She says her son's last words were, "Yeah, T." They discovered that the seatbelt was locked as if someone had it on and then slipped it off just for a second. And that is when the impact was. Not 24 hours before the horrible accident, her husband had told their son to put his phone down because it was controlling his life, and it did just that. It took his life. Now his daughter has to grow up without a daddy, and their son without a brother. She goes to his room every night, smells his jacket, touches his hats, and tells him goodnight and that she loves him. She says the pain never goes away, and it hurts just as much today as it did then. She hopes that this will touch just one person, and that they will put their phone down. No text is worth dying over or killing someone else. Now I have just a short clip to show you that I found on YouTube to show my point that texting and driving is bad. And now I have some statistics to share with you to help you understand more of the dangers of texting and driving from edgarsnyder.com. If a person is talking on a cell phone, then it makes the reaction time as low as a 70-year-old person's would be. 56% of teens admit to talk on their phone while driving, while only 18% will admit to texting and driving. In 2008, 6,000 people were killed and 500,000 seriously injured from car accidents involving cell phone usage. Texting while driving is worse than being intoxicated. In fact, if you text and drive, you are 6 times more likely to get in a car accident than an intoxicated person would be. Some studies show that texting while driving causes a 400% increase in time with your eyes off of the road. Every 6 seconds that you're driving, if you send or receive a text message, then you're spending 4.6 seconds of that time with your eyes off of the road. And then teens are 4 times more likely to get in car crashes than adults from the usage of cell phones. I hope from hearing my speech, you are able to come to a conclusion that texting and driving isn't worth it. Not only is it illegal in many states, but it could take your life and someone else's too. So my ending statement to you is, keep your phone on silent while driving and keep your eyes on the road. Is one text really worth your life?